For now, we're going to skip story and narrative implications for why you do the things you do in this game and focus on exploration, combat, crafting, then quests, and the overarching story. After the tutorial, you arrive at the resting place. This is your area to rest, craft, prepare, and decorate in between trips to the sunken city of New Orleans. The game operates on a day-to-day cycle broken up into 3 phases: morning, afternoon, and night. Morning is typically when you'll receive any overarching story quests, prepare your bag for the day, use any scrap you have to create new items, then head out into the city. When you arrive in any part of the city, you'll either have a task set up by a story or a personal task to gather resources. You'll spend your time exploring the ruined streets, buildings, camps, and different unique areas of each of the zones, completing your tasks. On your person, you have a flashlight. In most games, this is a pretty meaningless tool, but here it's the difference between life and death. Well, life and a lot of nightmares at the very least. I don't care if the truth of God is in these hallways, you're not getting me down there. The trick here is that your flashlight is battery operated, and sometimes they need a good shake to get them working again. It seems to always come at the worst time, which then poses a quandary for you. Do you refill your battery in the midst of combat or sneaking around, with the potential of making yourself vulnerable, or do you deal with it until you're a little bit safer? It's a shockingly important decision, enhanced by all the other factors you have to balance while you're out in the city. You're also going to be finding a way to balance your stamina and health. If you use your sprint for long durations, typically over a third of your stamina bar, the maximum amount begins to deplete, represented by an opposing red bar. A little bit of red at the end doesn't seem like it'd be much of a big deal, but let this go for too long and soon you'll be regretting it. You're able to run, climb, and mantle over some objects, and all of this requires some amount of stamina, not to mention melee combat. So you might find yourself outrunning a horde only to run out of stamina and succumb to them instantly. We'll go over this more in the combat section, but for now let's talk about how to get stamina back. Stamina is regained by eating food. Now you're able to prepare food at the resting place, but if you aren't properly prepared, you're able to find some food out in the world, for a price. The food you find out in the world is usually packaged food that has gone bad, some much worse than others, but all in a way making you sick. If you eat the food out there, you'll regain some of your max stamina, but trade that for health. The thing is, health is a little bit harder to replenish. Not in the sense of damage, since bandages are something that aren't too hard to find and you usually have one on you regardless, but medicine is what restores your maximum health. Finding medicine, that's a tricky bitch. Medicine is small and rare, meaning that it's possible to go 2 or 3 levels before finding it, which in this game is about 200 to 300 walkers, and at least 6 barbed wires. Keeping your health up is much harder than keeping your stamina up, and that's before the game introduces the poisonous dickheads who knock your health and stamina in half. Picking those guys off from a distance is crucial, and now's probably a good time to talk about how you go putting these cadavers back in the grave.